Hey guys, what's up? No Rage here, and today we're taking a look at the newest hero being added to Marvel Heroes, X-23. Seems like just the other day we were taking a look at Magneto. Right on the tail of that, we've got X-23 added to the game, and she looks pretty cool. I haven't actually looked at any of her powers, so I'm gonna be going in just as blind as you guys, and we're gonna learn together. Before we get started, though, there's a few things to address. This is Test Center, so of course everything will change as time goes on and through her development and up until release. But just a few key points. Her damage and survivability are not final tuned. Her uniques are not in this build. The Wrath resource gain slash spend values are still undergoing tuning. And her ultimate is missing in a fix. We'll find out about that in a little bit. And then there's a passive that claims she gets wrath on being hit, but she does not get wrath from being hit. She only gains wrath from dealing damage herself. So with those key points in mind, let's move forward and have a look here at X-23. Um, let's see, passives first. Let's jump into Hero Synergy System. And probably at the bottom of the list, right? Yeah. Level 25, she's going to gain 3% dot power damage. And at level 50, 5% movement power spirit cost reduction. Okay, that's cool. And our first tree here, Adamantium Claws. Have a look at Cleaving Claws. It's going to deal physical damage. It's going to deal a dot over time that stacks up to 3. And you will also gain 40 wrath on it. Alright. Okay, that's cool. I like the animation. And I like stacking this dot and then running over to somebody else. It's a lot like one of Black Panther's moves, which is a very high damage basic skill because that dot stacks the way it does. Very cool, very cool. Alright, moving on, we've got Crimson Sweep, and as you can see, my Fury, or Wrath, is what it's called for her. It's very similar to Wolverine's Fury mechanic, almost exactly the same, except she doesn't gain it when she gets hit. But Crimson Sweep here is actually going to use that. So you've got builders and you've got spenders. Let's have a look. This is going to do melee AoE physical damage. A little bit of a faster attack speed than her basic, I think. Yeah, quite fast. 2.7. Oh, that's cool. She like spins around like a little ballerina and stuff. And it looks like there's a dot being applied here too. It could be that there's a passive somewhere that causes this skill to apply the dot from Cleaving Claws. I don't know. We'll have to see what that's coming from here in a bit. But Crimson Sweep here, definitely applying the dot from Cleaving Claws. Now we've got Rip to Shreds, fill an enemy full of holes by unleashing a blur of frenzied slashes. It looks like it's going to do 5 hits of physical damage. It's got a cooldown of 8 seconds. Cooldown is reduced by 1 second when you hit a bleeding enemy. Now let's go ahead and pull that on the bar. Put the rest of it there too. Alright, first gain up some Wrath, because we spin it all dancing around like a ballerina. And now Rip to Shreds. Oh, that's very cool. I like that. Very swift and powerful animation with some nice damage on it. Cool, cool. Alright, now we've got Slash and Hack. It's a little bit backwards there, isn't it? Hack and Slash. We've got Slash and Hack instead. Physical damage and 10% per stack of Cleaving Claws. So innately, it's just going to deal some damage. Looks like it's okay, no cooldown, just uses Wrath, deals that damage. So could be a single target Spirit Spender kind of thing, but if you apply these dots with the basic, then it's going to hit a lot harder. Adding a cool little rotation here of stacking your, or keeping your bleed stacked, gaining your wrath, and then spending it all on slash and hack. Pretty cool. Moving on, we've got Bloody Harvest, melee area skill, physical damage twice per second. Critical damage rating is increased for this power. It's an ongoing wrath cost. I think this is going to be gain up some wrath here. Does have a wrath cost. A little bit of lag going on there. Okay, this is a very interesting skill. I feel like an Easter bunny jumping around, twirling around, doing weird. That animation could use some work. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's a little bit. It's hilarious, but I'm not sure it's exactly what you want for the final product. But it is quite humorous. I don't know, maybe. But dealing physical damage twice per second in a whirlwind type skill, cool. Disembowel. It's gonna do physical damage. It's gonna hit twice. It's got a cooldown of 12 seconds. Consumes all stacks of cleaving claws to reduce the cooldown by 2 stacks, or 2 seconds per stack. With 3 stacks, that would be 6 seconds, cutting the cooldown in half. Alright, let's have a look at Disembowel here. Now, if I hit a target that does not have cleaving claws, it's going to have the full 12-second cooldown. Oh, a little bit of lag there. We'll get it back in a minute. I don't know what it is, but anytime I'm on Test Center, it always seems to, the animations lag out the first time I use a new skill or something like that. Yeah! Ah, that's cool. She jams her claws in and then rips them out and causes all kind of blood. That's hilarious. Alright. And of course, if you hit a target with 3 stacks of the cleaving claws on it, then you're going to cut the cooldown to 6 seconds instead of 12 seconds. There, you can use it again. That's pretty cool. I really like that animation. Now here we've got Seeing Red. Explode into a graceful dance of violence, ruthlessly cutting down enemies in droves. You take strange satisfaction from dispatching targets, healing more quickly with each felled enemy. First things first, you're going to restore 100% of your maximum wrath. So you'll pop up to max wrath. You'll gain a buff effect that gives you damage rating, crit damage rating, restores 10 wrath each time Cleaving Claws bleed effect deals damage, and reduces the cooldown of Dancing Blades by 5 seconds when you hit with Rip to Shreds or Disembowel. So Dancing Blades, that's over here. That's her signature. It reduces the cooldown, the cooldown of her signature by 5 seconds when you use Rip to Shreds and Disembowel. That's really cool, actually. I like that, the way that could play together. And it's got a buff duration of 8 seconds. Cooldown of 30 seconds shared with Whirling Dervish. Right there. Whirling Dervish. So these seem to be, I wouldn't say mutually exclusive just yet, but they will share the same cooldown, so you're probably going to pick one and stick with that, or you may find that certain ones are better you use one in one situation, one in another. I don't know, we'll find out. Let's see how that scales right there. Damage rating and crit rating scale quite nicely. I like seeing those numbers. Yeah, almost at 20 points is almost 800 damage rating and almost 1200 crit damage rating. Those are pretty good numbers. Again, though, damage tuning, the tuning on this number is probably not finished yet, so keep that in mind. Let's have a look at Seeing Red, because I have a hunch that the animation for this is really cool. Not quite what I was expecting. I saw some teaser images back in the day where the entire screen went red. Remember, while you have this up, you're going to be wanting to use, what was it? is it Rip to Shreds. Rip to Shreds and Disembowel, using those every cooldown in order to reduce the cooldown of your SIG, which we'll see in a minute. Deadly Operative, the next tree, comes with a passive, first off. Heart of the Beast. You're cloned from one of the most ferocious mutants, Wolverine, therefore possess all of his innate resilience and acute senses. Activate to shake off negative conditions and gain immunity to those conditions for a short time. Alright, so this is going to be your CC break. You'll use it actively to break crowd controls, and you're able to see enemies on the minimap. You've got a maximum health increase and regeneration, and when you drop below 50% of your maximum health, you regenerate a very large amount of health, and that effect has a cooldown. Here's the scaling on that. Again, not final tuned, but should give you some idea of what you're looking at. Pretty good. I like that. 1000 max health and pretty decent amount of regen, with even more massive regen that kicks in after you drop below 50. Alright, then we've got Graceful Maneuver here. Basic dodge roll, giving you dodge rating, attack speed, and move speed for 5 seconds. It looks like the dodge rating does scale. Dodge rating does scale, and the attack and move speed scale in duration, but not intensity. And I think the dodge rating is innate. I think it's just a passive dodge rating. You don't have to use the move, but the attack and move speed is a buff. Alright, there's that. It's a very nice, effective dodge roll. And she clears some distance with it. And doesn't do any damage with rolling through, but it will get you in position to do damage. Fluid Stance. This is she's got 2 stances. Very nice. I like stances. Well, Toggle On is going to give you dodge rating, crit rating, and damage rating for movement powers. I think this tree is all about movements. Yeah, Lethal Acrobatics. This tree is going to be all about movements, and this tree is all about like standing still and stand and deliver tactics. And I think this is going to correspond to this tree over here, and this will correspond to this tree. Blue with blue, red with red. Cool. Alright. Twirling Lunge has no fury cost. Twirling Lunge. And when you use a movement power, you and your allies gain power. While this effect is active, Lethal Claws and I can't even begin to pronounce that. Reduce the cooldown of Cyclone Kick by 1 second per hit. Alright, cool. We'll know more about what this does when we go over this tree. Ferocious Stance. It's going to give you crit hit rating, damage with dots, and regenerate when you strike bleeding enemies. Compared to this, which is dodge, crit hit rating, and damage to movement. Looks like they've got some decent equivalency. This one just giving you extra dodge, I think, is the main thing. Overall, though, yeah, you've got dodge versus regen, and then each of them have stats that are going to appeal to that tree. So dodge versus regen. And here's the scaling on Ferocious Stance. Here's the scaling on Fluid Stance. Alright, pretty cool. Let's pull both of these out and have a look at their individual animations. Going into Fluid Stance, you've got big blue aura, and going into Ferocious Stance, probably a red aura. Okay. Now we get to the signature, Dancing Blades. Acrobatically leap through the fray, whipping your adamantium claws through enemies as you fly past them. can be activated up to 6 times within 15 seconds. You deal physical damage twice per second for 3 seconds, and damage over time from this power counts as 3 stacks of Cleaving Claws bleed effect. So if you use this, it's gonna be as if you had applied this dot, giving you bonuses to which one was this? Slash and Hack will get its damage bonus, and the cooldown, or sorry, the wrath gain effect here from Seeing Red will apply to targets that have been cleaved with this. Alright, I think that's it. Let's go ahead and use it. 30-second cooldown. Okay, so I gotcha. It's a nice sort of it's a movement skill as well. I mean, it's tagged as movement. Can be activated up to 6 times within 15 seconds. That's pretty cool. I think it's gonna play better with Lethal Acrobatics than it will with the Stand and Deliver tree. So we'll have to. Still a very cool signature. Lots of damage. And we'll have to see how that plays out. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Alright, now we've got Open the Jugular over here in Lethal Acrobatics. It's going to give you. Can only be activated within 3 seconds of using a movement power. So there's. How many movement powers do we have here? We've got 1, 2. And this is a movement power, so 3, 4. Yeah, I mean, you could just graceful maneuver, which, you know, is pretty much always going to be somewhere easy. It's always off cooldown. Yeah, so a total of 4 different movement abilities, and then after using one of them, you can use this. Let's go ahead and pull these out and put them on a bar. Alright, we'll leave that one in a minute. Alright, so Open the Jugular. Let's go ahead and dodge roll over. Then you've got. She uses her foot spikes. Nice. Gotta use. There you go. And bring your foot spikes around, and a foot spike to the throat. That's pretty cool. That's one thing that's gonna differ in her play style versus Wolverine. Is Wolverine's all. He's got claws on his hands, but X-23, she's got those foot spikes. So she's definitely gonna be using those. That's really cool. Here we've got Jump into the air, delivering 3 spinning slashes with the claws on your feet. Physical damage, dealing 3 hits of it, and has a cooldown 12 seconds. Let's have a look at Cyclone Kick. Okay, a little bit of a cooldown on that. Well, I wonder if there's ways to reduce its cooldown. Like there were ways. It reduces the cooldown. Dancing Blades. No. Because these over here, Disembowel, consumes all stacks to reduce the cooldown. So you reduce the cooldown of this by consuming Cleaving Claws, but it doesn't look like you can reduce the cooldown of Cyclone Kick in any way. That's a very cool ability, though. I like the animation and the sound and everything. Alright, physical damage on Lethal Claws, and it's also going to deal increased 50% for 10 seconds when you use a movement power. So after using Twirling Lunge, Rending Leap, or Sig, or Graceful Maneuver, the damage on Lethal Claws will be increased, and it's a basic ability. Right? Yeah. It's a very strong basic, especially after using a movement. So probably jumping in, go for the Jugular, and then use this basic. That'll be cool. Alright, and Twirling Lunge. Fly into combat with Spinning Leap, knocking down all enemies in your path as you move past. Physical damage with a knockdown duration. Let's have a look. Oh, a little bit of lag there.
You embarrass yourself.
Okay, this is pretty cool. I'm not sure the
I need a
animation
moment.
is quite finished on that. Let's go ahead and swap this out since we're talking about this tree. We'll get rid of cleaving claws here. So this is all about movement in this tree. I kind of like that. I'm not sure it would be quite a replacement for the basic dodge roll here, graceful maneuver, but still it's a pretty cool skill, and with a knockdown on it, I could see some use for it. Now we've got this one that I just have no idea how to even pronounce. No, I'm not even gonna. There's too many vowels there. All right, use your life flexibility to deliver swift, surprisingly brutal slashes from your claws in your hands and feet. It's gonna deal physical damage and 50% more damage for 10 seconds when you use a movement power. It looks like it has a wrath cost. It's a basic spirit spender, similar to this one, slash and hack over here in this tree. It'll again get that boost after using movement power. So let's have a look. Oh, come back over here. And I'm out of spirit. Okay, that's cool. I like the arc at which she brings her feet over and to use those foot spikes. Very devastating. Now we've got Rending Leap. Leap to a location, slicing into enemies around you with your claws when you land. Again, movement power. I lagged through the animation again. I don't know why my test center client does that. It doesn't happen in the normal client. Oh wow, that's a big AoE. This is be a very nice skill. Yeah, sort of like somewhere between a crash down strike and a dodge roll. Very similar to, I think Black Panther has a skill that's a lot like this, but it's only one target, and he'll like leap over the target and then stab him in the back. But this one does AoE. That's very cool. I like that. And now we've got Whirling Dervish. Push yourself to even greater acrobatic feats, leaping and slashing across the battlefield. You're going to restore 100% of your maximum wrath and gain a buff effect giving you damage rating, crit damage, restore 50 wrath when you activate a movement power, and reduce the cooldown of Dancing Blades by 5 seconds when you hit with Cyclone Kick or Open the Jugular. Alright, so we've got Dancing Blades here. Go ahead and put Whirling Dervish there. And it says Cyclone Kick and Open the Jugular. Put that right there. Yep, that's there. That there. And this, I think, Rending Leap is going to be one of the best ways to keep that wrath up. Alright, so Whirling Dervish. There's the scaling on that. Again, pretty good scaling. Almost same as the damage rating and crit damage from over there. Almost 800 and almost 1200 crit damage. Alright, let's use Dancing Blades here. So we dance through the enemies, doing tons of damage and making them all bleed. And now, while that's on cooldown, Whirling Dervish here, Cyclone Kick, then jump back and forth while those are on cooldown, Cyclone Kick again, or I think that was Open the Jugular. Cyclone Kick. I didn't go into Cyclone Kick. There it is. And those all reduce the cooldown of your SIG so you can get back into that. Now that was a very poor representation of how that's all going to play together, I'm sure. because I have no idea what I'm doing yet. But I think that's gonna work out pretty well. The synergy between all of these skills here, reducing the cooldown of this Dancing Blades, it's gonna be a very interesting movement build that you can put together. Um, I'm very interested to see how that's gonna fit together with some of the items and medallions and stuff that you can get. I think didn't is it Kirigi that has a movement based medallion these days, a brand new one that I haven't really played around with too much. And then of course there's the Electra medallion to fall back on. Man, yeah, there's some really cool stuff that could happen here. All right, so now we've got Trigger Scent. Here is her ultimate. Inexplicably become exposed to your trigger scent, which causes you to completely lose control and explode into a ferocious crimson blur of death. Okay, that sounds awesome. First things first, it's gonna double your attack speed, and as stated at the beginning of this video, the ultimate's not quite finished, so there will be some other stuff on this, but already with double attack speed, it's gonna be amazing. I enjoy Wolverine's ult so much just because of the double attack speed, and whatever else they put on this, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Just to show what double attack speed actually means, let's go ahead and pull Cleaving Claws out here, and we'll go ahead and do this. Disembowel and Rip to Shreds. Now I don't know how double attack speed will play together with Dancing Blades because it's also a movement ability. So I'm not going to use it just yet, but I'm going to go to town with Cleaving Claws, Disembowel, Rip to Shreds, while in Seeing Red during the ultimate. Let's do it.
Why do you fight?
Aw, that's gonna be really cool, dude. When you get a geared out X23 and pop all that all together, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this skill preview of X23. She looks like a really awesome character, bringing in a lot of the mechanics that you've seen with Wolverine, but pulling it all together with her own unique movement aspects and playstyle. I think she's going to be a 200 attorney Splinter hero, if I'm not mistaken. She will launch with at least one other costume, and then I heard they were working on a few more too. So she may have several costumes at launch. She may just have this one and another one. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Nothing else is on Test Center just yet, but when it is available, I will let you know. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to rate, comment, share, subscribe, and all that jazz, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, take it easy. Have a good one. Peace.